Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird, a Blackbird's Brew. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to our series on the Havamal. Today we are looking at verse 74 and beginning with three different translations. The first translation reads, "He is glad at nightfall who knows of his lodging. Short is the ship's berth, and changeful the autumn night. Much veers the wind ere the fifth day, and blow round yet more in a month." That's all of Bray. Second translation. He welcomes the knight who has enough provisions. Short are the sails of a ship, dangerous the dark in autumn. The wind may veer within 5 days, and many times in a month. That is W.H. Auden and P.B. Taylor. And then finally, from the Cowboy Havamal, our last translation for today. The weather can change a lot in 5 days. It can change even more in a month, and you're a fool if you think you can predict it. Never trust to anything that's not in your own power. Dr. Jackson Crawford. So it's good to be in secure surroundings at night or during times of tumult. Whether our circumstances are grand or humble, having a place of relatively safety is valuable. This is one of the many benefits of being able to successfully provide for ourselves. It's a very uncertain world, and we're all vulnerable to something. But it helps if we have a place we can call our own, even if that place probably is not an impenetrable fortress. Auden and Taylor's translation speaks of having enough provisions, think food, supplies, anything that's necessary to sustain life. We also talk about short sails and danger of an autumn night. This is a reminder that there are predictable and expected difficulties in life, the need for food, for clothing, for shelter that can be secured from, run of the mill common dangers. These are things that we can do something about, at least for the most part, and solvable problems that hard work and proper resource management that are equal to addressing. So we have an advantage there. And so it behooves us to turn our attention to such matters. But where things really get dicey and are it's really those things that we just can't predict and no one can, such as all of the changes of the wind and the weather that the verse mentions. And we can take that both literally and metaphorically. These unpredictable things are out of our power to control, and oftentimes they are beyond the reach of our influence. And we can't prepare against every single possible disaster, because even if we took care of all the ones we can think of, that leaves all the ones that we didn't think of. And there's just oceans of possibilities out there. But what we can do is live in a manner that encourages us to have an independent mindset and to be prone to taking prudent precautions just in general, not merely for the things we can foresee, but the things we can't, and just try to have a balanced, sensible approach to life in general. Now, some people allow a dread of the unknown dangers to drive them completely insane. I'm sorry to put it so tactlessly, but that's what it is. And they quest after fending off everything that makes them worry. And sometimes they can even get caught in the trap of hubris, and then they imagine they have made themselves invulnerable because, by golly, they thought of everything, they're prepared for everything, and won't the rest of us be sorry that we didn't do exactly what they did? But then, when disaster strikes, and all of their worry and paranoia and preparations didn't protect them after all, it can rip apart their psyche. Because no matter how good your plan is, I mean, suppose someone strips your resources away. I mean, this has happened in myriad of points of history. Or what about just plain old, there's a terrible sickness and you fell prey to it? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, there's only so much that anyone can do to stave off, catastrophe. And so, accepting that we are not all powerful or all knowing or all capable as humans, and accepting that risk is always going to exist, that is a step towards improved mental health that I think everybody could take, especially these days because, can you turn on the news without having someone tell you about how it's all coming crashing to an end? Yeah, it gets a bit wearying after a while because again, even with the best of preparations for all the dangers you can foresee, there's always going to be something that you didn't see, and maybe that will be the thing that ultimately gets you. I mean, that's just part of living. And so, making terms with that, probably for the best. But that's my thoughts on the subject. Let me know about your own impressions on this verse in the comments section, or come pay us a visit at Blackbird's Brew on Gilded. There's a link to join the group in the description box below, and you would be very welcome. But that will do it for now, and I will see you next time. Bye.